The disqualification of Shri Rahul Gandhi from the Lok Sabha should be seen in the light of the following facts. And yes, all the following are facts. They are neither mine nor anybody else's opinions. For decades, the criminalization of Indian politics has been a matter of great concern and debate. People elected to parliament and assemblies would continue in those positions for years, even if they got convicted of a crime, because they would appeal in a higher court, and because of the slow judicial process, those appeals would continue for decades. There was popular anger against this, but nothing could be done until about a decade ago, the Supreme Court passed a sweeping judgment interpreting the Constitution that any MP or MLA, if they got convicted in a court, would immediately lose their membership from either the Parliament or Assembly, and their appeals could go on, and if they finally prevailed in the appeal, they could be restored. There was a great deal of excitement and support for this in the public, but the government of the day, which was the UPA government headed by Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, then tried to overturn this Supreme Court judgment through an ordinance. Now at that time, a lot of activists and especially young people were up in arms, and I myself got involved in this when some activists came to me. I was a member of the Lok Sabha, and asked me for advice, and I suggested that they should organize campaigns of emails, letters, phones, SMSs to their own MPs and build pressure to not overturn the Supreme Court judgment. And so this campaign did take place, and large numbers of MPs gradually started coming under that pressure from their constituents. I could see that in sitting in the Business Advisory Committee meetings. I would see that initially many MPs, especially from regional parties, who wanted the ordinance to overturn the Supreme Court judgment, would gradually start changing their mind. And it's ironic that that pressure finally got to Shri Rahul Gandhi, who in a very dramatic manner held a press conference, or rather barged into a press conference by one of his party colleagues and tore up that ordinance. So in a way, Shri Rahul Gandhi should be congratulated for derailing the UPA government's efforts to allow convicted people to continue in parliament. And so it has now come full circle. And what has happened is he himself has got convicted in a high court and has lost his membership. Now the reality is that you can be convicted of different kinds of criminal activities. And defamation is a criminal activity. You cannot be, and there are laws in this country against making casteist slurs. Now we have seen in recent years, many people, such as the current Chief Minister of Delhi, having had to apologize to have defamation cases dropped against him, otherwise face conviction. Recently, a spokesperson of the Congress party, who instigated some of his supporters to start chanting, asking for the murder of our sitting Prime Minister, had to apologize in the Supreme Court. In this particular case, the High Court gave Shri Rahul Gandhi several opportunities to express regret and to apologize for making those casteist slurs, which are illegal. They are criminally illegal. But he didn't do so. And so he has been disqualified because of the conviction. The people who are saying, why should he be disqualified so quickly while he is filing an appeal? But that was precisely the purpose of the Supreme Court judgment, that people who could appeal and get a stay order and continue for decades should not be allowed to do so. This is precisely why Shri Rahul Gandhi himself went and tore up that ordinance, which would have allowed the old system to continue. So there is absolutely no logic for him or his supporters to say that things were done in too much of a hurry or illegally. It was exactly as per the law. It was exactly what happened when the UPA was in government, and that protocol has been followed since then. It started with a very famous case with a very well-known political leader from Bihar, Shri Lalu Prasad ji, getting disqualified because of a conviction. And there have been other examples since then. So these are the facts. Now, you can say that that making casteist slurs against an entire community should or should not be a criminal offense. But then that's neither here nor there. One would have to convince the country that you should be allowed to make casteist slurs. One would have to have Parliament pass such a law. I don't think India will ever agree to pass a law that you should be allowed to make casteist slurs and get away with it. So these are the facts, and we should recognize the reality of the situation rather than trying to spin it for one's individual political benefit.